Hey, what's up guys? This is Anthony from AnthonysCustoms, and for this review, we are looking at the new piece of crap FULGORE figure from Killer Instinct. Now you guys might remember that I recently reviewed the Jago figure, and it had almost no articulation, but it wasn't a terrible figure necessarily. It had some decent aspects to it. The paintwork was okay, sculpt work was okay, it was alright. It was definitely overpriced, but it wasn't terrible. This figure, on the other hand, is terrible. Almost everything about it is insultingly bad. There are a few redeeming qualities, but nowhere near enough to warrant buying it. So let me just get him off the stand and take a closer look. Okay, this FULGORE figure stands at just about 18 centimeters to the top of his hair, which makes him just about 7 inches. So he does have some size to him, and he was advertised as being fully articulated. And I almost couldn't get that out without laughing because of how bad this articulation really is, and how untrue it is to say that it is fully articulated. This thing is atrocious. It's bad. It's so bad. Let's go through the articulation first, then we'll get to the accessories, because I want to show you how bad this thing really is. The head is on a ball peg, so that would normally be good, but it doesn't move. You can't move it at all because of these things. They're fairly stiff, and there's 4 of them holding it in place, so you really can only get a tiny bit of a swivel. That's about it. Not much else is going to happen. The hair, even though it is a separate piece that got pegged into the head, not articulated. I don't know why it's not a swivel, but it's not. The shoulders have kind of like a fixed ball hinge. It pegs into the torso here, and then we have the hinge here. But the angle at which the hinge works is really weird. It's not in line with the shoulder at all, so that's really strange. The rotation is obviously okay, but that's it. And it's super floppy, by the way. It's just not good. I'm pretty sure if I pulled on it, it would either tear or come apart, but I mean like unpeg or tear. Because the plastic used in this guy is all super squishy. In fact, it's so squishy that when I had him standing on his stand for a while, he ended up leaning all the way forward like this. So that's not good. For the elbow joint, we just get this hinge right here. So, no, I mean, it's not terrible. That elbow joint is okay. There's no swivel or anything though, so all you get, and then there's no articulation in the hand either, so all you get for this fully articulated arm is this awkward angled hinge, which is super weird. I mean, you can't raise the arm, and it's at an angle, it's permanently twisted, and then the hand and elbow only have that, so that's pretty terrible. We have a waist twist, that's it, just a waist twist, and then for the hips, we have a swivel on that little ball. It's just a swivel. Why? Why? They had the ball. Put a ball hinge in there if you're going to do that. Or at least a ball peg. It's so bad. Then the knee. It just has another hinge like the elbow. No ankle articulation. No nothing. So, in order to get him to stand, you're pretty much going to have to bend his knees like this in order to get his feet to go flat. And then that's the only pose you can use. So, ultimately, this guy's going to stand there just like this. That's it. For a fully articulated figure, that's it. Now, Jago had good paintwork. This guy doesn't. He's got almost no paintwork. There's a little bit of dry brushing here and there, but that's about it. It's mostly molded plastic with some kind of finishes on it, but it looks really muddy. As you can tell, this piece, it's just like glossy, dark gray. It's not even really metallic, and it just looks really bad. As you can see probably on camera, it doesn't really reflect light properly. It doesn't look metallic at all, so it just looks like a kind of like a muddy mess. It's not good. And then inside the torso, we have these yellow vent things, which are so sloppily done. Obviously, the torso part was glued on top of it, so they should be painted nice and clean inside, but the black stripes in there that separate the yellow are totally haphazard. It's not good. The one redeeming thing is the eyes are painted fairly cleanly. That's about it. The hair has a little bit of shading on it, but not anything that matches the sculpt at all, and it's super plasticky looking. Really, really ugly. So, I guess he looks okay if you wanted him to be a static figure, but the quality of everything about him is not very good. The sculpt's almost there. I mean, the sculpt could have been okay if they just executed the rest of the figure properly. So, he does have some accessories, one of which is this display stand. Jago's was really ugly. This one's not bad. It still feels pretty cheap, but it has a decent amount of sculpt and paintwork on it. I mean, it's not super accurately detailed or anything, but it's okay. And then it has these little railings on here to give it some height and just kind of a more 3D quality rather than Jago's, which was pretty blah. And then these are painted all grimy like, which is okay, it's fine. And, well, I'll show you that at the end. Other accessories include an alternate head. So you have this head. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see. So you can see all this lovely detail. We have this head, which is the normal head, and then we have this head, which looks okay. I mean, they did a decent enough job. And then these things just hang, and then these guys plug into the back like this one. So that's okay that they included it. I highly doubt anybody's going to use this alternate head just because this is more of a classic look for him, but it's included, so that's all right. And then we also have interchangeable blades for the hands. Now these guys come pre-warped in the packaging. You can fix that with a little bit of a hair dryer, but there's really no need at this price point to be using this kind of plastic. They should be much firmer, just like the whole figure. I mean, it's just so squishy, like it's just not good. It's so squishy. I'm pretty sure I could ball them up into a little tiny ball. So we have these blades, and then we have these ones, which look nice. They did a decent job with the translucent blue, but again, they're pre-warped in the packaging, so it's not great. But it's not terrible, those things anyway. So in terms of should you buy this figure, the answer is truly no. At the price point, it's not worth it. As you can see, he falls apart pretty easily. The blade just popped off as I'm trying to peg him into the stand. If I can get him to peg in. So I'm going to show you what you're going to end up with if you buy this guy, because poseability is non-existent due to the terrible sculpt. Or terrible articulation, I'm sorry. That's what you're going to get. Just a Jago, just a Fulgore figure that stands there. Which, if you don't look too close, it's not bad. I mean, he looks okay. So if you want a figure that's just going to stand there in this weird pose, then you're all right, I guess. If you're willing to pay 30 bucks for that, then go for it. But if you look anywhere closer than arm's length, it's going to be unimpressive. And especially given the price point, it's really unimpressive. So don't be fooled that it looks nice. Once it's standing like that, it looks okay. It's really not. It's really not worth the money, and I really don't think you guys should spend your money on it. That's all I can say. It's really not worth it. So there you go, guys. Thanks for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. I have new videos up every day. I review all kinds of figures. We talk about TV shows, movies, video games, sculpting, all kinds of stuff. So make sure you subscribe to the channel, and in the meantime, keep collecting.